This is the Music Business Radio Behind the Scenes podcast. David Hooper here, finishing up a long day. We had a different type of episode that we taped today, and it was with a great guest. Let me tell you about it first, though. We normally tape at WRLT Nashville. If you're in Nashville, you probably know this station is Lightning 100. Dan Buckley is our engineer. Dan was just getting back from Bonnaroo and recovering from he goes down there not to see bands, but actually to work in the studio and cut the interviews down there, did probably dozens of interviews, and then they have to be live within minutes so they can go out to all the radio affiliates. And anyway, so Dan was off today. We worked with an engineer named Bobby Holland, and we went to Bobby's studio, which is right on Music Row. It's called South Street Studios. Great place. It's in an old house, like a lot of Music Row offices. You might not know this if you're not in Nashville, but it's basically 16th and 17th Avenue. A lot of old houses. There's some commercial buildings there as well. And this was an old house, like probably from sometime in the 1800s, no doubt. I mean, a large place. There are actually a couple studios in it. And we were in there with Bobby Holland. Great guy, just a really beautiful studio, really kind of a cool environment. We were interviewing Eric Dahl, and it was a perfect place for this because Eric is known as kind of an equipment guru. He, if you've ever seen the show Pawn Stars, is the guy that when they get a guitar in, they go to Eric and say, hey, how much is this thing worth? There's a lot of appraisal work, just a total gearhead, and it was kind of cool because we got in there, and I show up, producer Gary Crane is there, I'm a guitar player, Gary's a guitar player. Bobby, the engineer, is a guitar player, and of course Eric is a guitar player, as I just mentioned. So we get there, and Bobby gets this custom guitar delivered, and it's one of the cool things about Nashville. It's a guitar town. A lot of people play guitar. We've all got that hobby, and it's the kind of thing you can just kind of sit down and play. And that was definitely something that happened, but we did it in the form of equipment reviews. Eric brought in a lot of gear, some really cool stuff, something called Jam Hub, which is amazing. It will allow you to practice in your apartment and not annoy the hell out of everybody. It is like an in-ear monitor mix for different stage mixes if you want to use it. There's a lot of different things you can use. We did that. There's a guitar, a tone apparatus that he had. So some different equipment reviews, which is going to be a new segment in Music Business Radio. But one of the things that we talked about, and this is what Eric is known for, is guitars. As I mentioned, he's a consultant on the show Pawn Stars, but he was actually in a pawn shop in Las Vegas where he used to live, and he still frequents, and was in there and bought a guitar, a Gibson guitar, black Gibson guitar, that just so happened to be owned by B.B. King. It had been stolen just a couple months earlier, and he got a pretty good deal on it. It was a funny story. Actually got to meet B.B. King, and strangely enough, because he is such a guitar, I'll call him a guitar super nerd, we were joking around about that, but ended up writing a book about all of B.B. King's guitars and amplifiers and the history, and he's met B.B. King. B.B. King actually did the introduction for his new book, and the book is called Lucille and the Loves Before Her. Not out yet. I think it's coming out in August, but got to talk about that and some stories about gear and just really what makes Nashville cool, and talk about what this gear can do to help you perform better, to help you write better, and to help you make more money in the music business. So that was it. It was just one of those really cool days. It was a different studio, which is sometimes a little bit nerve-wracking. I never know what I'm getting into. And we've done this, I don't know, we've probably been in 4, 5, 6 different studios over the years, some of them on Music Row, some of them when we're on the road. And it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because I never know what I'm going to get into. This was a brand new studio for us, but Bobby just made us feel right at home. It's BobbyHollandMusic.net. If you're in Nashville, you need a great engineer. Strangely enough, I had actually heard Bobby's production work, and he's an incredible music producer and also engineer, really great, talented guy, and one of those cool guys to work with. Makes me be happy that I'm in the music business, happy in Nashville. Eric was great, and Eric has something called Rock and Review. If you're interested in some great equipment reviews, Rock and Review 17, the number 17. There's a local television show, Fox affiliate 17, that he's on as well. So Rock and Review 17, if you want to see some cool gear reviews. It's cool to talk with these gearheads. It's something I'm kind of removed from. I have certainly my old guitars that I've got, a couple pedals, and just things when I want to just kind of noodle around. I don't really play I don't really play that much at all. I used to, play for money, and now it's just kind of business that I focus on. So it's great to kind of jump back into where I used to be and play guitar and talk shop and go with these musical equipment guys rather than the music business guys. So great show. It's Eric Dahl, Ericdahl. It's kind of a cool story about the BB King guitar. It's always online and in a lot of guitar magazines. So if you want to search for that, just search for 80th Birthday Lucille guitar. David Hooper here. Thanks for listening to the Behind the Scenes podcast. We've got more really great stuff coming up. I'm in the studio here. I know for the next 2 or 3 weeks already booked, and I'll be reporting with those things. If you want more information about me, check me out online at musicmarketing.com, and you can get my book for free at musicianbook.com. It's called Six Figure Musician. Help you sell a few more records, get more people to shows, make more money. And I'll see you on the Music Business Radio Behind the Scene podcast very, very soon. Have a great one.